Okay, so apparently everything is working. So hello and good evening to today's BossConstructor development stream. Today we are going to develop the Cloaking field module, which has been top voted in the latest poll. I don't know if I can pull this out. Yeah. So Cloaking field has been the winner last week. And that is what we're going to do today. So, as usual, let me begin by making a broad agenda of what we're going to do today. So, first and foremost, we're going to make the module graphic. Next, we're going to add the module to the game. Then we're going to make some very basic effects, and foremost we're going to add the cloaking mechanic to the game. Yeah, and finally we're going to test everything and deploy it. Okay. So, to be honest, this is probably going to be the most ambitious module which I've done in the dev stream so far, just because the cloaking mechanic is something which is not in the game at the moment, and I'm not yet sure how detailed I'm going to make it, but we'll see as we move along in the stream. And yeah, okay. So let me begin by making the module graphic. The module graphic is going to be relatively simple today, just as the effect is going to be. Just because the cloaking mechanic is going to be very time consuming to implement, I guess. Okay, so yeah. So I think the module is going to be 3 by 3 in size. Let's start with this guy. Okay. Okay, good, nice. Nice. Hi Tony, good evening. Okay, cloaking device. It's just called cloak, I guess. Cloaking device, okay. Cloaking device. Okay, so I do not have like a super concrete idea of how the module is going to look like. I was thinking of having like little light impulses which bounce between the center and the outside, and when the cloaking effect is activated, you'd have like a brief light, a flash of light before your ship disappears. And this is sort of what I want to make here. So I'm thinking of maybe like having some slices of like pie slices, where these light pulses will then be inside of. Well, we'll see how it looks like. let's make the base color darker so that it is lower in the final graphic. Probably going to be one of the harder module graphics, just because you know, there's no like real world example of how a cloaking device is supposed to look like. I mean, I investigated a bit on Google Images and on Google how, you know, real world approaches to producing a cloaking device look like, and it's basically, you know, all around based on bending light and using like nanofibers in order to, you know, get your light from one end to the other end. But it doesn't really apply to how a module graphic could look like. So I'll just have to improvise a bit. And okay. Oops. Okay. As you might be able to tell, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing at the moment. I have some vague ideas on how I want it to look like, but I do not have like a concrete sketch or something which I could use as a template to do this. Okay, good. Okay. Okay. Next, I want to have some connecting features here on the outside. I wonder if I can use like a predefined shape to do this. Okay. Sometimes I'm surprisingly bad at using Inkscape. Okay, so like this. Sharp. Okay. I guess. I mean, we have to see how it looks in GIMP when we apply the macro anyway. Yeah. First attempt. And I want something which fills these corners as another element. Okay, I guess like this. That correct? Yeah, I guess. Okay, let's make this a bit thinner. Okay, yeah. Before we go on doing this, I would like to have a look how it looks like when we transform the height map into actual graphics. So let's have a look. Cloaking device. Let's export it. Open the GIMP. Okay, okay. Okay, I think like this corner element looks sort of fine. I have to improve it a little bit, but it is sort of fine. The middle part I do not like very much, actually. Especially this ring isn't really what I wanted it to be. And I think also the height difference is too extreme. Okay, so let's improve this stuff. First of all, I think this corner was a little bit too sharp. Yeah, that didn't really look good. And I guess we can just remove these outer thingies here. Okay, that should be better. We can also make it less of a height difference, which might look good. Maybe like this, okay. Okay, yeah, I guess that should work. So let's just copy this to the other edges. And that should be that. Okay, so this ring wasn't nice, and also this was too steep. I have no idea what I've selected now. I guess this stuff is still grouped. Okay. Okay, let's make it less extreme. Maybe like this, okay. And let's redo this ring thingy which we did previously. It's not clear that it necessarily looks better if we have more details. Not quite sure yet. What if we make it smaller? Like this, maybe? Okay, what if we make it darker? Okay, this might look good. I'm not sure yet. Let's make another one, a bit bigger, like this. I mean, just to be totally clear, I have no idea what this is supposed to be. So yeah, there's that. Okay, I guess finally we could make some like decal thingies, like some additional details on the outer edge. We could also overlay this this frame thingy which we have here, and this frame thing should actually, if we move it to the top, which does not seem to work for some reason. Okay, actually this might look good. So since this is a height map, this would make the edges a little bit softer in the sense that there is like a finer gradient at the end. Okay, so let's try this version. Let's export it and close the old one. Yeah, I sort of like it actually. I wonder if it would look good if you had like a little gradient. For example, this being like the peak and slowly declining towards the outside. Let's try that. So yeah, exactly. It looks a bit flat to me. Okay. What am I doing? Yeah. Actually, what I'm going to try. Okay. I guess like this, only that we have. Nope. Yes. Nope. Yes. Yes. Let's make it less arc. Okay. So now it should have like a peak in the center, sort of. Guess I can make it a bit bigger. Okay, let's try this one. Yeah. I sort of like it, I guess. I think I want to add a little bit of finer detail here to these parts, but in general I actually sort of like it. I mean, I will overlay a little bit of a detail texture later on, but I'm actually quite happy with how it looks so far. So I would just like to add a little bit of stuff over there. Okay. So maybe like Okay, that's pretty much what I had in mind. So let's take these guys and copy them to the other parts. This might not be completely symmetrical, which is really stupid. Okay. It's a bit unfortunate, it's a bit unprecise currently. It's really, really annoying. Is there a key to disable this? Yeah, okay. Okay, so I guess we have to do the placement manually because it isn't completely symmetrical, but the actual rotation should be okay. Okay. This guy. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's give it a try. Okay. Okay, I'm sort of satisfied with how it looks so far. Guess I'm going to apply a little bit of curve transformation to increase the contrast a bit. Yeah, maybe like this, I guess. Okay. Maybe increase the shadow amount a bit. I'm not sure yet. To make it appear a bit more contrasty than it actually is. Okay. And yeah, guess that's pretty much it. So let's save it. And let's do the color map for this module. This is actually a pretty bad color map, so let's just delete it and make a new one. And I guess I will just make these outer parts be part of the color map. Okay. Now let's just fill these guys. Okay. Maybe we should add something else too. Let's see. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. I guess I will just keep it like this for now. Make it a little bit blurry. Okay. So, this is our mask. This is going to be our diffuse. And finally we need a normal map. So let's see what the automatic generation comes up with. Guess we have to amplify it a bit, but I think in general it looks sort of good. Okay, let's try it with scale 4. And let's export this as our cloaking device normal. What did I just do? Okay. Okay. I'm sort of guessing this part is almost done. I mean, obviously we have to see how it looks in game, but so far so good. Now let's add it to the game. Structure. Actually, what is it? Is it energy, drive, defense? I guess I'll put it to energy, just because there aren't that many energy modules at the moment. But actually defense is also good. Defense is probably makes more sense. So cloaking device. And let's just remove all this stuff. Okay. Now let's add it here to the list of modules. And let's add it to the localization stuff. cloaking device makes your ship invisible to enemies for a short time. Okay. Just add to the German part as well. Okay, we also have to add it to the research tree, but for the moment this should be fine. I'm not entirely sure where it would fit to the tree. Maybe behind the subspace drive, I guess. Yeah, let's try to put it here. Okay. Okay, so while it is compiling, I'll just get something to drink and I'll be right back. Okay, so it did compile. Let's see if it shows up here. Yes, it does. Here behind the subspace drive. Okay. Let's design a sample ship. Cloak test, okay. And here we have it, okay. Again, this super annoying 3x3 size, so it's not entirely sure how to best fit it, but let's just put it here. And we do not really have a key assigned to it so far. Okay, so we need to add key bindings for cloaking devices, I guess. I didn't think about it, but yeah, I guess we need a new input setting for cloaking device. Okay, so add module to the game is done. Let's to be at key binding. Okay, so we need a new thingy here for cloaking devices. Okay, it's a bit annoying, but I think there's no real way around it. So, control manager, cloak is 18. This is where the icon is assigned to the key in the graphical modes. Okay, that should be it for here. Okay, it is also automatically assigned. So we will return true here. And we can also give it a default key binding. What should it be? A key. I guess I take a B for now. Whatever. And then from the cloaking device, let's just set it up so that it automatically assigns the key for the cloak. How do I handle unconnected modules and overlap in the ship editor? Actually, it's the same ship part and ship class as in the game. I mean, in the mission modes and so. And I have a ship class, which is basically a collection of ship part classes. And the ship part is a set of connected modules. And if they overlap, I will just, treat them as a normal ship part. But in that case, I will detect if they are overlapping and in that case mark the ship as invalid. But basically it is just the same ship and ship part classes as in the running game. So did it work? Did it not work? Okay. Okay. The new defaults did not apply because I would have to reset to default for it. And it also doesn't show up on this dialog, so we have to edit there. Can we just move that away, I guess. Input settings. Where is it? How did I call it? Game state controller settings, okay. Shield and just add cloak. Okay. Okay. I think having ship parts is only really relevant if you want to I'm not sure. I mean, I guess you can do everything either way. Actually, do you do you intend to have like ship parts which like move against each other, like pistons and hinges and like joints or stuff? I think in that case it might make a difference. But I mean, in that case my way is also not very consistent, because I treat like every movable part as a different chip part, even though it is still connected. Okay, so yeah, just missing localization here, so let's not forget that. Key command. Okay, I think it was 18. Okay, so let's edit a key, like B, I guess. And now when we start it, to do exactly nothing. Okay, good. Well, I'm actually not really sure if there's necessarily something wrong with the approach you currently have. And to be honest, this layer where I, calculate the ship parts and based on the modules in the ship is probably some of the worst code which I have in the game, because it's not so trivial. So I'm not really sure that there is something wrong with your approach. Okay, so next I want to add some very simple effects to the module. So I'm going to steal code from the subspace drive. What was I doing? Okay, so R is world ship time plus I times 2 times pi divided by 2. You'll see in a moment what I'm doing here. I'm not... this is too complicated for me to program and talk at the same time, so sorry. Cosine R, let's make it 0.5 plus 0.5 times this. I guess. Let's make it smaller. The halo effect. Let's give it the color of the module. And let's see if it does anything remotely of what I want. Yeah. This is completely not what I wanted. This is completely not what I wanted. It's embarrassing. Okay. Hi, David. Good evening. Okay, so now that we know how not to do it, let's do it better. I guess this is more like it, yeah, I guess, yeah. Okay, halo, let's make it a bit brighter. Okay. I'm actually really curious how the cloaking mechanic will work out when the module is done. So currently still have only very vague ideas how to do it. And again, this isn't really what I want. I mean, basically I want to have like these moving light pulses, but I want to have one pulse per segment. Yeah, I guess I have to divide these by 4 instead of multiplying them. Also make them a bit smaller, I guess. What else do we need? Okay, let's try it. Meantime, I can clean up a bit. This was done. This is also done. Okay. Okay, something like this, except that I would want to have the slide pulse moving around a bit. Yeah. Okay. So let's take world time times 2 plus this stuff, I guess. Okay. And let me just turn on the light because it's getting a bit dark here. I guess it's sort of doing what I wanted, but doesn't quite look as I wanted it to look. I guess it shouldn't extend all the way to the center. This isn't so good. And should also be a bit faster, I guess. So let's multiply time with 4 and let's reduce the impact here. Let's make it like 8 plus 0.25. And I also want them to be a bit more powerful, like maybe 0.6. I'm not totally convinced. Let me try some different textures here. Okay. Okay, so I didn't do this correctly, obviously. I guess I want them all to be like this. A bit strange, actually. Let's see. Okay, so I guess I'm not going to spend too much time at this point on improving the graphical effect. I don't really understand why it looks so odd. Okay, so I'm going to fix it at some other point in time. So for now I'm going to go back to the halo effect. Okay, so next I'm going to add a charging mechanic. This respect is going to be very similar to the subspace drive. So basically it will charge up until it has reached a certain threshold, and then we can use the cloaking device for a short period of time. And again, I'm not entirely sure yet how it will work out. Okay, so D is the current charge divided by the required charge. Okay, guess we need to borrow this portion of code. So if charge is smaller than required charge, we charge up, and if the power is activated, then stuff will happen. This is what we are going to do next. And finally, yeah, let's do it like this. Okay, so now these things should be bouncy in the beginning, but they should become very still when the module is charged up. Good, let's test it. And also, I need to add some information to the tooltips, I guess. Okay, so they're getting slower and slower. And now it is charged, I guess. And if I hit B, yeah, they go back to dancing around because the module is discharged now. Okay, nice. Nice. I guess I'm going to make it a little bit brighter when it is charged. So, like this. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, so basic effect is pretty much done. What I will do before continuing is to add it to the tooltips. And I guess here we can pretty much just steal it from the subspace drive. From device. Yeah, that should be pretty much it. So now it should be able to tell us how long it takes to charge the cloaking device. Nice. Okay, now for the hard part. Hi Rob, good evening. So now we have to put some thought into how to do the cloaking mechanic and how to make the cloak work. So actually let's elaborate a little bit on what we have to do next. So first of all, we need like a graphical effect for when the ship is cloaked, so that it is. Hey, thank you, Rob. Thanks for playing and thanks for letting me know. We need a graphical effect to make it clear that the ship is cloaked, and we need to make the AI ignore you when you're cloaked. Yeah, in general we need to, make the cloak start and end at a certain point. But we also need stuff like, for example, if you shoot, then it uncloaks your ship and stuff. Okay. I guess it's not going to be easy, but we have to start somewhere, I guess. Good. Okay. Okay, so I guess for start I'm going to add a cloak variable to the ship part class. So every ship part has now a cloak attribute. And what does it do? Okay, so first, when the ship is executed, the ship part, then we count down the clock. Okay, and when we execute the cloaking device and we use it, then we increase this variable. Let's increase it by 10 seconds for now. And finally we need to make a graphical effect for it. Okay, so how is it done? So we have the render function, render below untransformed, render stuff and so on. Okay. Okay, so let's do it like this. So if cloak is greater than 0, then we just return, I guess. Now it is like hard cloaked, but I guess it's okay. And what we could do instead of rendering the ship is we could render the ship silhouette, I guess. So I guess we need this stuff, I guess. Not, maybe not, maybe yes. Okay, let's start simple. Let's start by just hiding the ship when we are cloaked. Sorry, let me just turn that off. Okay. Okay, So in theory, if I hit B, the ship should just disappear. Nope. That didn't work at all. Why did it not work? Okay, there should be a key assigned to it. What am I missing? Okay, so let's just print out what the cloak variable is. Okay, and one thing I also realized, let's update this stuff. Okay. Ah, okay, I see. I think I see. Do I? Ah, okay. So first of all, I was hitting it when it wasn't even charged, which is pretty stupid. And second, it is decreasing the cloak even if it is below 0, which should not be the case. So we need to limit it at that point. Okay, next try. I guess for testing purposes I should make the charge up a bit faster. Okay, and it's gone. It's gone. Cloaking device totally working. Well. Okay. I mean, I guess we will need to adjust some of the modules to the new cloak. For example, the thrusters. But all that, it's already, the base functionality is working, which is nice. How should we do it? Okay, and also before I forget, we need to make the AI use the module. Okay, good. What's next? Okay, so first I'm going to go to the thruster module and I'm going to adjust the effect a bit so that it doesn't show up when we are cloaked. Okay, if power is greater than 0 and Shepard cloak is null. and particle emitter, emit rate, relative usage, impulse. Yeah, I guess it is here. So if ship.cloak cloak is null, then we set the emit rate to something positive. Okay, good. What else do I want? I want to have the outline of the ship drawn. I mean, of your own ship drawn when it is cloaked. Just remove these outputs. So let's steal this part. And draw this part, I guess. Well, let's see if it works. Okay. What I'm programming in is basically Java, but I'm using a different syntax, which is MJava, but the core is Java. So basically I've written a simple like preprocessor which compiles MJava to Java. Basically I was just annoyed by the syntax of Java, so I decided to do something about it, and this is how MJava got created. You can actually download it for free. I've put a link on my forum, where on my blog, I guess, where you can download it. Oops. Okay. Okay. So now you can still see the silhouette of the ship. Yeah, very nice. You can also see how the particles still move. Oh, it's actually pretty sweet, I think. And I guess you can also still see when I crash into stuff. Let's try. Okay. Nice. It's actually better than I expected. Okay, so let's reduce the recharge time for testing purposes. So we have like 5 seconds. And what else? Okay, yeah. So next, when we shoot, this should uncloak you. So, okay. So, abstract module weapon. When we fire a weapon. So should it apply to all weapons? I'm not quite sure. So let's make this optional. So let's make a new function, uncloak on fire. And let's set it to true. And if we fire a weapon, and if uncloak on fire, and shipart cloak. Well, I guess we do not really need to check it. Just set the cloak to 0. Okay. So should there be weapons which work while being cloaked? Well, I guess we could make it like that. I mean, we could make like the mine layer, for example, still work when cloaked, but well, I guess we can decide that later on. So, I mean, the hard part will obviously be to make the AI use it. I mean, to make the AI honor that you are now invisible. Okay. 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 So when we fire, we are immediately made visible again. I guess I should make like a little transition when... Yeah, we should make like a little transition for cloaking and uncloaking a ship. Yeah, make cloak animation, okay. This is probably one of the most, yeah. I mean, actually it is probably the most elaborate dev stream so far. I mean, content-wise. I mean, like, other streams were long because I got stuck on some bug for half an hour, but this is genuinely complex. Okay. So for a moment, let's just mark these off and focus on how the AI works with it. So first of all, I want AI ships to be able to use the module 2. So yeah, good. Okay, so first of all, we only want to have these silhouette outlines when the ship is our own ship. So if an enemy is cloaked, we do not really want to see it. Next, we want to allow the AI to control it. And here I'm going to make it very simple. Yeah. I'm going to make it really simple, and the AI is going to use it whenever it can. Okay. Yeah. So for now, the AI will activate the module whenever it can. It's not really very nice, of course, but like having an algorithm to detect when it would be beneficial to cloak or not is like really not very easy, I guess. Okay, now to make the AI ignore us if we have cloak on. So, how am I doing it? Okay. So this is basically the part where the value of a certain position in space is calculated depending on what other ship parts and factions are in this specific part of space. And I mean, actually it's pretty straightforward, I guess, right? I mean, currently we are just using the actual position of the ships, and instead we would use an estimate based on the last position of the ship. Okay, let's try it. Let's call it estimate x and estimate y. And let's make it estimate position x, estimated position dot y. Okay, so if our ship is not cloaked, so if cloak is 0, then we just return the actual position of our ship. And if we are not if we are cloaked, then we are going to extrapolate based on the last position. It's going to be really sweet, actually. So it's actually going to be really cute. You'll see. Okay, so we're going to add some variables. We're going to add cloak px, cloak py, cloak vx, cloak vy, and cloak time. Yeah, I think that's going to be really, really cute. Okay, so if we are cloaked, then the is that spam? Wait a second. I guess it's spam. Yeah, it's spam. How do I? Okay, good. Okay, so cloak px plus world time minus cloak time times cloak vx. Okay, and the same for y. Okay, good. Now next, when we cloak, we set these parameters to the current ones. So cloak px is ship part px, and so on. And finally, cloak time is ship part world time. Good. Okay. Also, I'm going to increase the cloaking time a bit. Oh, actually, we don't need to do that. If you want to do that, we can have multiple cloak modules, which should work too. Okay, okay. And finally, I'm going to add a new render effect. And this render effect is going to be a silhouette which is drawn at the estimated position. Okay. Yeah. And I guess we also need to save the rotation in order to do this properly. Okay. Okay, so make AI use it is done actually. Make AI can hold is what we have to do now. Okay, so I'm going to modify this ship design a bit so that we can have 2 cloaking modules. Should give us a total of 20 seconds, I guess. And yeah, very nice. So basically this shape here is the extrapolation of our ship run at the time when we cloaked. Very nice, very nice, very nice. So basically, in order to really make the best use of the cloak module, you have to, you know, change your position a bit. So like, oops. So in order to really confuse your enemy, very nice. Very nice, I like it actually. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. And actually it should already work with the enemies. I think at least. Okay, so in order to try that, let's make our ship a little bit faster, so that we can actually outmaneuver our enemies. This could actually be really good. Could actually be really good. I was a bit skeptical, to be honest, at first, but it should work really good. So they should now actually attack that ship instead of okay, it doesn't really work with interceptors, I guess. Okay. And it also doesn't seem to work with missiles. But I guess it should, okay. Okay, missiles and interceptors need to use this new stuff. Interceptors. Or should they? Well, it's hard to say actually. It's hard to say. Target is ship part. Ship. World buffer, center of mass. Okay. Okay. So I guess it would work for missiles now. Or should it? So from value times not null. Yeah, almost. Get WIP in range. WIP, okay. Okay, it's not very pretty, but I guess we have to do it. So we have to make like a distinction if we have a cloaked ship. Okay, that should work actually. Actually, I'm going to use the cloaking mechanic at another point too, because someone suggested cloaking nebula, which I think is a very neat idea. So I guess I'm going to add cloaking nebula at some point. This is not what I wanted to do. I mean, basically I'm just trying to troll the enemies at this point and to see how they react to our new... Okay. Ooh. So that did not go too well, I guess. Okay, so the missiles are no longer locking onto us. Okay, now they do. And they still do. I guess these enemies are not so good at... Okay, so the missiles are in fact like chasing the wrong ones. Ah, okay, but the weapon AI of the ship still knows whether we are there or not, which is not good. And the interceptors also still know. Okay, let's improve that. So first of all, weapon AI. Ship parts in weapon range. Get ship parts in weapon range, I guess. Last right position. I think it's just this part, I guess. I'm not so sure what is this about actually. Lead file 3? But it doesn't lead anything here. It's just, yeah, just one. Okay. Okay, so here we now use estimated position. Okay. And interceptors, okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess you're right. I think I will try to make like module transparency. I think that would be the neatest approach. I'm not sure about shader, however. I'm not sure I'm going to write a shader just for the cloaking effect. Even though I got sort of motivated after reading the OpenGL cookbook, or whatever it is called. And reading that book, I also realized that immediate mode, which I'm using for OpenGL rendering, is like super dated. Okay. Get nearest enemy. Get nearest enemy. Okay. Target chip. Okay. So okay. So carriers. I mean, interceptors would work now. And also, the AI shouldn't just shoot at you when you move past it while cloaked. At least that's the theory of it. Okay. Wait a second, do I get the cloak when I take damage? No. No, I do not. I'm not sure if that did actually work. Oh, and also okay. So so basically when a ship part is destroyed, like a module is destroyed on a ship part, a new ship part module is generated, but we need to copy the cloak state if that happens, because otherwise we will get decloaked when we lose a module. How is it done? Ship parts, particle field, ship parts clear. Yeah, actually I think I have like 50 modules in total now, so it's really a lot. I'm not really sure how much more I will implement, but I think having this community interaction, like people suggesting modules, is like really cool thing. So I guess I will continue this for a while and add modules that way. But you know, I mean, a part of me wants to make like a very concise game with a very limited set of mechanics and modules, but like all the players, they just want more modules. I mean, that's what like the vast majority of people in the forum seem to demand. And well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having more modules. I mean, and I mean, maybe in the end I will like remove some modules or make the modules which are there a bit more diverse or a bit more focused. I'm not quite sure yet. Okay, so cloaking. Actually, how does it work actually? So we have stored energy, preserve position, backup position, particle field disable, connected to ship part. I think I'm just going to take the very first module. Yeah, okay. So let's make it stored cloak. Stored cloak, put module ship part cloak, and then when the new ship parts are created, that's connected to ship parts add SP. Okay, sp.cloak is stored cloak get module. Okay. Actually, I can also add the new patch notes. Okay. 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 Yeah, I mean, I think the number of modules, you know, it looks nice, like, you know, like a feature list on a package or something, but gameplay-wise, it is probably not an improvement. And but I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, gameplay-wise, it doesn't really add a lot. And I mean, I'm currently reading the design book by Tyne Sylvester, and I mean, he really has a point for having simple and elegant game mechanics. And I guess having 50 modules is probably not like it, especially given that many of the modules are likely to overlap in function and stuff. Wait, what did I want to do? Okay, so first I want to check if the cloaking does still work when we crash into something and lose a module. And it does. Oh, for some reason. Ah, okay. So basically the previous cloaking stuff disappears afterwards, which is it is a bit unfortunate, I guess. Yeah, that's actually a bug. We should actually fix that. So basically we do not just need to save this variable, but also these guys. Okay, okay, okay. So instead of having just the cloak, we're going to put a whole array into it. Okay, so we have cloak, we have cloak px, we have cloak py, vx, vy, what, and cloak time, I think. Okay. It's not pretty, but it should work. Is there an elegant way to do this? Maybe sp.cloak equals temp. Yeah, I guess that's okay. S6. Okay. 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 So also, I think I really want to do the transparency effect like you suggested. So let me check how I could do it. Okay, so this is where the module is rendered. Hmm. Render core. Nope. Render core. Huh? Okay, where's the freaking color selected actually? Here. Okay. Shift